This is an in-service training program presented by Nutrition Care Systems. Today's topic, enhancing the resident dining experience. Upon completing this in-service, you will be able to, number one, describe the role food plays in the lives of older adults. Number two, identify 3 aspects of the physical environment that are conducive to food consumption and mealtime enjoyment. Number 3, understand the correct positioning for eating and drinking. And number 4, list several ways to make the dining experience much more pleasant for the resident. Let's talk about the role of food in the lives of older adults. Mealtime is really an important part of the day. The meals are really something that an elderly person feels like they have some control over. They may not have control over their medications, but food is just such an important part of the day, and so many people look forward to that particular part of the day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Mealtime is really more than just about consuming food. It's about how it smells, different tastes, and also that the presentation of the food is very appealing, that it's not just slopped on the plate, that it really looks good. Maybe there's some garnishing. Food is often a symbol. Social relationship friendships are maintained or enhanced during mealtime. People have certain tables they sit at, and they like to sit with certain people because they get to rekindle some friendships or meet some new people. Religious beliefs can also be shown through food preparations and ceremonies. So again, the role of food is very, very important in the lives of older adults. Food preferences, they're typically developed early in life, depending on what our exposure was to different foods. If our family life maybe was very adventurous, or maybe growing up wasn't so adventurous, maybe our family didn't try a lot of new things, but maybe your family tried a lot of different things. So that's how you develop your food preferences. They're also influenced by exposure to different food experiences. And certain foods make you feel comfort. For example, chicken noodle soup may remind you of being sick when you were a child, and as you're older, this might remind you of your parents. That brings back comfort to you. Physical changes can also impact the role that food plays in the life of older adults. So decreased sensory perception may decrease the enjoyment of food. It just might be something that people don't enjoy anymore. Weakness and unsteady hands may make mealtime difficult. Maybe someone had a stroke and they're not able to use their right hand, right arm, having to feed themselves with their left arm, left hand. If that's not their dominant hand, may be difficult for them, and they may just end up giving up and deciding that they just don't want to eat for that particular day. So we have to be careful that if people need help with eating, that we offer them as much assistance as they need. The physical environment is also key for the older adult. The dining room should have attractive physical surroundings, really foster a climate of friendship, happiness, make every effort to assure that each meal is a positive experience for the resident. Again, we want this to be a place where people have enjoyment and people enjoy themselves. They tend to eat better. So we want to make sure that the dining room is very attractive, doesn't have loud music, but also just a really nice environment for them to have a good meal. The dining environment is key that we keep it personable and warm. When a resident arrives in the dining room, that we address them. Hello, Mrs. Jones. Hello, Mr. Jones. That we don't just ignore them. Make sure that you make the experience personable and warm for them. Flowers, interesting table decorations, depending on if there's a holiday, a welcoming entrance, maybe some sample plates. If there's holiday decorations that are tasteful. That all contributes to a really excellent environment for the resident, and again, encouraging their intake because of that. Another key is the furniture. Really, the furniture should be good quality and solid. Nothing worse than having a chair that's broken or missing a wheel or just all dirty. We want to make sure that broken furniture is replaced immediately. It can also be a safety hazard. Armrests should provide stability during transfer, so make sure there's anything that's broken as far as an armrest, so those particular chairs are removed and either discarded or replaced. And chairs should be able to slide up close to the table, again, so the resident is close to where they're eating, so they're not having to have a large space between their plate and when they're trying to eat, that again, it's comfortable for them. Let's talk a little bit about distractions. We all know when we eat that we want to have distractions kept to a minimum, and this also goes for the elderly. You don't want to have a lot of loud music, televisions playing during the mealtime, lots of people talking to each other from one person across the room and yelling. Make sure the lighting is appropriate, nothing worse than having bulbs that are missing. But again, making sure that just the simple things keep the distractions to a minimum so that again we can have the mealtime being enjoyment for the resident. Proper positioning of the resident during eating and drinking is also key. And we do that to avoid them choking or aspirating any food or liquid into their lungs. It also makes it easier for them to eat on their own according to their ability. The resident who tries to eat or drink while reclining in bed or while sitting improperly is at risk for choking and aspiration. Obviously, we want to avoid that at all times. Positioning is extremely important and should be addressed by all members of the interdisciplinary team. When positioning the resident, upper body should be in an upright position, hips bent as close to a 90-degree angle as possible, along with knees and ankles. Feet should be flat on the floor or supported with a footstool, and the head should be held forward with the chin down slightly. There's other ways to make the dining experience more pleasant. One of the keys is for the manager to be visible during the meal times in case there's any problems that come up as far as foods that people don't like, or maybe the temperature of the food isn't proper. Train the staff on how to deal with issues that come up, again, so that they are trained as far as dealing with negative comments and how to turn those into positive results. Offer variety and novelty in the menus. Adding specials really makes it exciting. Having different specials related to maybe a Hawaiian luau in the middle of winter, different things like that, again, to add excitement to the dining experience. And then provide room service when appropriate and necessary for the resident. Make sure the food is always presented in an appetizing manner. We all eat with our eyes, so it's always nice to have the food look appealing. And then always ask the residents for their feedback regarding menu and services, maybe some different menu items they'd like to see. So always have a resident council meeting just so you get some new ideas as far as foods that the residents would like to see. Now let's take a short quiz. Question number 1. Which of the following roles does food play in the life of a resident? A. Mealtime is an important part of the day. B. Food is often a symbol. C. Food preferences are developed early in life. Or D. All of the above. So the answer to question number 1, which of the following roles does food play in the life of a resident? Well, all of the above. Mealtime is important, it's often a symbol, and we talked about food preferences are developed early in life. Question number 2, which of the following would be a distraction to a resident in the dining room? A. Good quality furniture. B. Loud music. C. Tasteful decorations. Or D. Flowers. Question number 2, which of the following would be a distraction to a resident in the dining room? B. Loud music. Can be very distracting. Can make people not focus on what they're doing as far as eating. So you want to make sure the music is nice and soft. Question number 3. Which of the following would not be an acceptable way to position a resident for eating and drinking? A. Feet flat on the floor. B. Upper body in an upright position. C. Laying down in a bed. Or D. Feet on a footstool. Question number 3. Which of the following would not be an acceptable way to position a resident for eating and drinking? Of course, that would be C. Laying down in a bed would be a very inappropriate position for a resident. Risk of choking and aspiration would occur. Question number 4, true or false? Customer service goes a long way with the residents and their family members. The answer is true. Customer service goes a very long way with the residents and their family members. Question number 5, true or false? Don't ask the resident for feedback regarding the menu or service. Of course, the answer is false. We always want to ask the resident for their feedback regarding new menu items they may want or if they have any issues with the service. Thank you for your participation in today's program. Our goal is for you to use this information in your daily work. We hope you are well served today and every day. If you would like more information about our video in services or dietitian consulting services, please contact us at Nutrition Care Systems, 1275 Davis Road, Suite 121, Elgin, Illinois, or visit us on the web at nutritioncaresystems.com.